So today I have a special guest. We are dubbing her the Delighted Wife. So she's here today to share the success that she's had in through coaching. She's been married for 16 years and she has three kiddos. She's had a very busy life. And so today I would love to just have you share a little bit about what was going on that had you reach out for coaching.
Yeah, sure. I've noticed throughout my marriage and parenting lots of patterns of resentment and insecurity, and just kind of always operating from a place of anxiety and this constant, like low grade worry, anxiety all of the time. And I thought that's just how life was, and that's just something that I'm going to have to deal with. And it got to the point in my marriage where I was okay, but I realized I could no longer do it on my own. I was having successes, but I knew there was more. And I knew that I had blind spots. And so that's why I reached out for coaching to help me deal with or help me see and reveal some of those maybe struggles or some of those anxieties or those maybe missteps that I was doing in my relationship that I could um, shift and really create the marriage of my dreams.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, I like you and like a lot of women, we try to do this on our own and we kind of hit a point where we do need more support and coaching does make a huge difference. Can you share a little bit maybe like what happened in coaching or what was the biggest transformation?
I think that the biggest transformation that I saw in coaching was just understanding where my anxiety and fear was coming from, and also realizing that anxiety and fear was the basis of all of my other problems, my insecurity, my resentment. It all was based out of this fear. And coaching helped me uncover that this fear was a result of some negative thoughts that I was having. And those thoughts had been previously hidden to me, and coaching helped me uncover them. And it also helped me appreciate that part of my brain and learn that it's just trying to protect me, and learn to love that part of myself and appreciate it, but acknowledge it and move on. And once I was able to really clarify and unveil what those kind of background feed thoughts were in my mind, then I was able to decide how much power I wanted to give those thoughts and rewrite the script and decide which new thoughts I wanted to replace them with. And it's not easy. It takes work for sure, but when I'm doing it and when I'm working on, being conscious about my thoughts and being intentional about my thoughts, it makes such a huge difference in my life.
Wow, so it sounds like you really were able to break through where you were getting stopped and next level things. So tell us a little bit about what's happening now for you.
I think the biggest thing is when I'm doing the work and when I'm uncovering my thoughts and not just slipping back into old patterns, because that can happen sometimes. But when I'm looking at my thoughts and being intentional about my thoughts, I've noticed that I'm operating out of a place of confidence, whereas before I was operating out of fear. And I make better decisions. I show up better. I show up as the person I want to be, the wife I want to be, the mother I want to be. Um, and I've noticed in some of those situations, with my kids, that I can be the mom I want to be for them, and use the language that I want to hear them repeating to me and to each other. And it's helped me see things in a new light. And like I said, just feel so much more confident and so much more like myself and who I was meant to be.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Wow. Big transformations I know have happened in your home. So, wow. So, if there was a woman listening who maybe resonates with what you're talking about, anxiety and fears really running her life, what message would you want to give her?
Yeah. So just knowing that it's okay to ask for help and to open up to a trusted confidant, someone who can help you reveal those own thoughts and help you find where you're tripping yourself up. Because really the only person you have control over in this life is yourself. And when you start with yourself, it is amazing the transformation that you can make.
Totally liberating, right? Like we
Yes.
don't have to be a victim to whatever he's doing or not doing. It's like, no, actually, I have more power than I know. But sometimes we're missing that, which is blind spots. That's why we call them blind spots. We can't see it on our own, and that is a big part of what we do here with coaching. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So I really want to acknowledge you because there's been a huge shift for you in our time working together. That really what you're creating with your kiddos, with your husband, the connection that has been restored in big ways, and that you're just so much more peaceful, right? So much happier, and that anxiety is just like it's down here. But I think you shared on our last call about how just the baseline of your whole relationship has elevated. Do you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, it was almost like, before if we would have a breakdown, whether it was like, a fight or just feeling distanced or disconnected from each other, and we would come back together, it was very tentative, like, oh, is he okay? Is she okay? Is this going to come off wrong? It just felt like a very kind yeah, tentative kind of way of re-exploring, like, are we okay? Whereas now that bottom baseline has raised, whereas like if we are disconnected for whatever reason, maybe it's, he has a work trip and spend a couple days and we come back together, that initial connection is very much out of trust and confidence, and it's more happy and more, and we get back to that connection right away because we trust that the other person is in the right place and that we can get right back to where we were very quickly and easily.
Yeah, what I talk about is like it's a knowing. You know that you guys are good. Instead of going into the fear of maybe we're not good, it's like, no, we know we're good. And so we just have to reconnect and boom, we're there.
Yeah,
So I just want to acknowledge all the work that you've done and how
thank you.
much you've reconnected with your true self. This is a big part of what we do here.
Yeah,
And it's just going to pay off dividends for you. It already is. And so I'm so glad that you were brave to do this work. And thank you for coming on and sharing today and inspiring other women. I know that it will touch other women as well.
thanks for everything, Carol.
All right. God bless.